Today's Citizens Bank poll of the day, as we previously mentioned, is Pelicans related, and the question posed to the audience was, do you think the Pels will make the playoffs? Not the play-in game, the playoffs as a traditional 8-team format the Pelicans are trying to make. 56% of the audience thinks yes, the Pelicans will make the playoffs. 43% thinks that they will not. The Pelicans right now, I think, are feeling themselves. And when it comes to the remaining schedule, Musso, the Pelicans right now, I believe, have the 24th hardest schedule remaining. The Lakers have the second toughest. The Spurs have the fourth toughest. So the schedule is pretty favorable for the Pelicans, and they are sitting pretty to at least make the play-in. After that, they still have some work to do to make the playoffs, but playing some good basketball right now.
If they end up against the Spurs in the play-in and not the Lakers, I would be concerned. They have not played well against the Spurs this year, which is baffling because the Spurs aren't very good. I like New Orleans to be able to hold on to that 9 spot and at least be able to host it, which, look, the atmosphere in the Blender the past few games has been awesome. I mean, the one on Sunday night was incredible. You could just you could feel that energy coming through the television set there. So you like that advantage for them, but I'd feel better about them at home against the Lakers, even more so than the Spurs. They haven't played well against San Antonio, home or away.
I agree with you in that aspect. I'm never taking the coach team lightly either.
That and honestly, if the Lakers are in the play-in, I question their motivation. I really do. I think GM LeBron would be totally checked out by that point. Player LeBron on his way to being checked out by that point. The play-in, LeBron's just like, I don't belong in the play-in.
Yeah, the only caveat to that is then the Lakers may be a little bit more likely to not have a top 10 record in the NBA, in which case the Pelicans would get their draft pick. But I do agree that there may be a little better matchup than the San Antonio Spurs, who beat the Pelicans in the game before they played the Lakers at home inside of the Smoothie King Center. But I want to talk about the game after that, the one on Sunday, when the Pelicans defeated the Lakers 116-108. That was a game where they trailed by 23 points, made the comeback, got the win, got the cover as well. And we'll see what happens in the play-in, Musso, playoffs possibly. It'll be a lot of pressure on this team that hasn't had much postseason success. But regardless of what happens, I think you have to feel really good about the future of this team, if only because of the rookie class from this year. I mean, how big has the trio of Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, and Herb Jones been for this squad? Trey Murphy hasn't played that much, which is surprising given the fact that he is the first-round pick. Herb Jones was a second-round pick this year, and Jose Alvarado was undrafted. But Trey Murphy is starting to get some more minutes. He had a big game against the Lakers on Saturday, or on Sunday, I should say. 21 points, all in the second half, 3 for 3 from the three-point line. When you combine that with Herb Jones' defense, with Jose Alvarado's defense, and his skills as a backup point guard, those three guys are going to be a big, big part of this team going forward, and that has to make you excited if you're a Pelicans fan.
We kind of touched on it in the last segment with New Orleans and how they've been on this run, and really, I mean, just we've talked a lot about their success on the road covering the spread as of late too. Such a big part of it for them. You mentioned those three guys, and we'll talk about a couple of them here. Just the different guys stepping up night in and night out, whether it be Jose Alvarado, whether it be a guy like Trey Murphy, who was stashed in the G League for the majority of this season. Like, understand, Trey Murphy hadn't gotten a lot of minutes for the Pelicans, but when his number was called on Sunday night when they really needed him, he stepped up in that third quarter. You had Brandon Ingram on a minutes restriction. Mario, did you just fall in that chair?
Yeah, I'm shrinking.
All right, thought so. Minutes restriction for Brandon Ingram. Then, I mean, you look at C.J. McCollum with the ankle and things like that. You needed someone to step up. Trey Murphy answered that bell, just like Jose Alvarado has done prior in this season. Herb Jones has really done it throughout the whole year. We like to make, the Officer Herb jokes with defense, lock him up, Officer Herb. But, I mean, that's what is so exciting. Look, it's going to be great. I think, barring collapse, they make the play-in, and that's going to be awesome for them to be able to play a meaningful basketball game in a playoff-type setting.
In a season where you had no Zion.
That's great. But what's even more exciting when you look at this team is that rookie class and how they've contributed, how they've stepped up and actually won you games, mind you, going forward with this group. And under Willie Green, you got to feel pretty good about that right now.
Yeah, that's the big thing is Willie Green. This is a coach that has not made any excuses, despite the fact that he was handed a really, really hard hand. I mean, Alvin Gentry kind of seemed to make some excuses throughout the year. Stan Van Gundy, in my opinion, made some too, but your best player gets hurt. You're relying on 3 rookies as a key part of your rotation, one of them a second-round pick and one of them undrafted. Like, that has to make you feel really, really good about the coach for the New Orleans Pelicans, and that's something that Pels fans have not been excited for going forward in a long time.
All Stan Van Gundy did was make excuses.
Yes, but honestly, maybe Pelicans fans should be a little thankful, Musso, because he was such a big disaster in that 1 year that it led to the Pelicans getting
Yeah,
Willie Green.
you had to make a change. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So I mean, look, let's see what they can do, man. Back on the floor against the Trailblazers here tomorrow.
That's right.
They'll be a favorite in that game on the road.
They will. CJ McCollum will make his return to Portland, and Josh Hart will face off against his former team for the first time.